The creative journey of this project started a long time ago. Like, I've been wanting to make a YouTube channel for years and years, but could never decide what topic and what thing because I'm just too freaking ADHD and cannot choose a topic and stick to it for the life of me, because I will lose motivation within 3 weeks and then never touch it again, and then that's how I end up with a 5 bajillion unfinished projects, and nothing ever actually gets done. But here we are, creating a thing and posting it and actually putting it out there and finishing it for the world to see. So not only am I being productive, but I'm also, you know, going towards my larger goal of making a positive impact on the world through how and what I choose to communicate with others. So my primary goals are just producing meaningful, accessible, informative content in an easy to digest format that is relatable to a wide audience about the environment and about how modern media, especially fiction media, can be used as an outlet to communicate environmental struggles or social struggles, because social justice and environmental and climate justice are inextricably intertwined. Now, the original assignment for the final was to create an advocacy campaign for an environmental topic. And, I decided that's too narrow. I can't decide on a single topic, even though I did a single topic for my midterm, and I struggled so hard with that midterm because of the time limit on the presentation, because I'm sorry, I cannot get all the detail that I feel is adequate into a 7-minute time span. And even with the 7-minute time span, and even after cutting over 2/3 of my script over months and turning my assignment in late in the first place, I still got points marked off for it being over 8 minutes long. And while I may not be the most concise person, I do know how to ramble, and I do know how to make other things connect to other things, because my brain thinks way too hard and fast about everything all the time, and that includes nature, because, blessed with a little bit of special interest. That said, let's see what I can do to harness what the system labels as a disability and use it to my own advantage in pursuit of making meaningful impact on the world that others can relate to and maybe find inspiring. I got a lot of my inspiration for this project from the likes of Lindsay Nicole, Hank Green, Daniela, Animal Logic, and Bizarre Beasts, and even 7 Days of Science, which is actually a British production, I believe. And I can't forget Dr. Polaris and Octopus Lady, who do the same thing with the animated animal little photoshopped or art bit. I've always just thought it's a really fun gimmick, and it gives me the flexibility to storytell in a creative and funny manner that's, just kind of casual. Modern media is such a good topic to explore and to see how our portrayal of certain events, especially I've found in historical dramas or period dramas, there's a lot of themes about progress, the Industrial Revolution. We could even go through documentaries. I can even cover music in shorts and things like that, which is why I chose YouTube as my platform, just because it has the flexibility to make both long and short form content, which means I can make short, quick, easy to consume things, and I can make my longer form content where I can ramble and say the things I actually want to say. Well, this project is on a purely volunteer basis for the time being, and mostly for my own fun and being able to share the things I'm interested about, because if I know something and think it's cool, maybe you'll think it's cool too, and you'll like me because I know cool things. It would be really cool in the future if I could get, maybe some funding of some kind or some support from other scientists or people learning to be scientists like myself, because, hard disclaimer, I am definitely still in the beginnings of my education with this, and while it is my special interest and has been for years, I am technically not qualified to be making statements on specific data. So I'm choosing a topic on things that I am qualified to talk about because I've reviewed and researched and done a bit of thinking about it. So whether I'm talking about a childhood favorite that's a little bit uncanny valley, like Happy Feet with its slapped on filter of greenwashing, or we're talking about the beautiful series I'm going to be talking about in my first long-form project. Eventually, there will be something for just about anyone on this channel. My first long-form video is going to be a breakdown of the Netflix series Anne with an E, which is a modern TV series adaptation of the book Anne of Green Gables. Now, I read this book the first time when I was probably like 8 or 9 years old, and I never realized how much this story radicalized me as a young, educated individual. I find historical fiction like this to be the absolutely perfect mode of communicating environmental or social concerns on a very emotional and empathetic scale. It's a story steeped in the bonds of advocacy for both the self and for others. It is steeped in the idea of sisterhood and what that means, and it also touches on topics like struggles faced by agricultural communities and even indigenous communities, all while remaining engaging and enlightening to the intricacies of how people relate to each other and how people relate to their environment and how the environment can impact the emotional state and even the physical or financial or less tangible states of being. Sometimes while watching the series the first time, I really felt like Anne is the personification of civil disobedience, which I absolutely love, and she has such a strong sense of justice, which I relate to highly as a non-holistic individual. In the project, I'll go more in depth into all of the times that she really rallies her community to direct action and to true progress, and recognizing what is true progress and what is really folly. For my first short form series, I'm definitely going to be covering the discography of Penelope Scott because I absolutely adore her music and really just want to point out a lot of the parallels between things she talks about in her music and things that specifically this like late 90s, early 2000s generation really feels and really can relate to. While environmental art may bring more as, things made of sticks and flowers and mud and things made with more natural materials, environmental art can also just be when artists talk about environmental problems, and environmental problems includes social justice problems, because social justice contributes to how we treat our environment and how we treat certain areas of our environment, whether that be through political means like gerrymandering or lobbying, or whether that is through the direct action of us ourselves or our chosen representatives. The cruel irony of climate outrage being that as much as we're outraged about losing animals and whatnot, we do the same thing to our fellow humans with our sacrifice zones when it comes to gerrymandering or toxin dumping or just polluting the environment in general. Being that the YouTube algorithm bases its recommendations off of watch time, having a little bit of a longer video is kind of in my favor at this point, because I really would like to combat the flood of AI sludge and misinformation on this platform. So I look forward to sharing my knowledge of the principles of environmental justice and biodiversity and other such environmental topics. Homo sapiens are capable of amazing things, but we're also capable of very horrible things, and it has resulted in an interdependence between us and our planet. In this world of manufactured demand and consumerism, There's only so much we can do, and by making free content where people can access resources and by signal boosting direct actions that watchers can take, I can, play my part and contribute in a meaningful way.